It's the last episode of 2022 for Locked On Cubs. We're going to talk about how the Cubs have improved so far this offseason, do a little overs and unders with projected home run totals and best and worst of the year. Let's go.
Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Cubs alongside Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy, and looks like, is that Clark the Cub? What is that?
No, it's like a little
a Lego.
No, it's something that Nick has.
What the heck is that he has?
I'm recording from
Nick. Nobody even knows what it's. It just has a Cubs logo on it. It's some random object.
The last week of 2022 will forever be remembered as where did Sam record from?
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
everywhere but my own place because people and don't understand how Wi-Fi works. But carry on, Matthew.
And yet it's almost 2023. And speaking of that, this is the New Year's show. And as you have since July 5th, thanks for making us your first listen every day. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. So where we're going to start this final episode of the year, and before we get into maybe some personal or show reflection or whatever it's going to be towards the end of this ball game here, definitely turned an eye to Anthony Castrovince of MLB.com put out a piece, Sam, earlier this week talking about how teams across baseball have improved. And it was nice to see at least get some national confirmation about the Cubs improving their team, which we're going to talk about here at the top. But the Cubs are in the from playoffs to, oh my gosh, I knew I was going to screw that up. Cubs did not make the playoffs last year. Cubs are in the from non-playoffs to playoffs category, and two other teams are in that category or in that tier, and that's the Angels and the Rangers. So let me read this paragraph to you, and I'll pass you the ball. Castrovince writes, Cubs fans entered this winter with stars in their eyes. This winter has probably not been quite as bold as many of them wanted, but while Dansby Swanson was objectively fourth among the four-star shortstops in this market, his durability and defensive dependability are huge assets for a team looking to move up. Jameson Taillon was not in the top tier of the starting pitching market, but at age 31, after battling illness and injuries, his stuff has only recently returned to its pre-surgery levels. At worst, he's a league average arm for a rotation that needed more stability. Veteran Brad Boxberger is an upgrade for the bullpen. And of course, if Cody Bellinger can somehow recapture his old MVP form on a one-year deal with the Northsiders, they might just rank as the most improved of them all. It's a good summation of what we've seen so far. And as I put on the ticker here, the additions, I think they've addressed, some clear needs, at least so far.
Yeah, that was a lot. I want to say, first off, people are going to be very happy when I do finally get Wi-Fi. Man, did I make some really cool Cubs additions today to my background. Some really special stuff that you'll get a chance to see in about 2036. As far as that, yeah, I think that's kind of interesting. For Mr. Castro there, no relation to Starlin, because it's kind of a contradictory paragraph. He opens up by saying the Cubs fans didn't get what they desired yet. They are still one of the most improved teams. The Rangers are fairly obvious in that tier, at least why, right? I mean,
right.
When you look at who they acquired, the Angels.
I mean, they've added a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
I think they've improved, but how much?
Yeah, I think we're kind of picking at straws. I mean, look, the Cubs won 73 games last year. They added Dansby Swanson. They added Cody Bellinger. They added Jamison Tyone. They re-signed Drew Smyly, and they added Brad Boxberger. As we've talked about numerous times on this show, I think right now they're right around a 500 baseball team. Given the manager, given the margins, they could get to 83, 84. They could be 79, 80. I still think they're missing that extra piece. We were hoping that it would be Conforto, maybe Brandon Drury. Now our sights are set on Mancini. Maybe Mancini moves them up to like 82, 83. But in fairness to that paragraph, we're talking about a 10-game increase, which is pretty significant. So, I don't know what else really to add to that. I do think they're much improved. But the other thing I think, Matt, that's important when talking about improvement at the big league level, I tell you this all the time off camera, is actually trying to win. Last year, they went into the season knowing that they weren't going to be a playoff team. And whether it's subconscious or conscious, you have that mindset of, well, this isn't a year we have to win, so it doesn't matter as much. This year, I just think the priorities will be different, and that'll buy them 2 or 3 more extra games as well.
Yeah, the win total could have been a lot worse. They had an excellent second half, but the fact is they were just flat out bad last year.
Right.
So to be improved should not even be an expectation or a outcome this offseason. It really was a requirement.
It's a certainty.
They were required to improve. Yeah. Otherwise, what's the point?
Right.
I think that happened at the areas we anticipated. I will say that the lack of a number one starting pitcher to me is troublesome. I still don't know if I have clarity on that, especially given the price point of Rodon. I get that the price point on Verlander, DeGrom was out there, maybe even outlandish, but the third pitcher of that group was not. I can't help Cody Senga that he had a desire to pitch in Queens. But so beyond that, it's like, well, you have some great depth, but there's really no stud there. I am still curious about that. Their run scoring, they really lack big innings. How often can this current lineup, or even with a couple more additions, can you see this team more frequently scoring 3+ runs an inning? Because that's what defines a big inning.
Power. They don't have power.
Any level of baseball that exists, from my level to their level. And yeah, power is definitely a factor there. I know we've talked about contact since July 5th with this franchise, much less in 2022. And, we'll see what happens. But I do think they're improved. I think it's a stretch to say the most in the sport. Right now, I think it's very fair to say they're an 80-ish win team.
Sure.
Plus or minus 3 to 4 wins. And if the margins develop or improve, and if David Ross checks in at the door every day, not some of the days, every day, I do think it could be a vastly improved team.
Yeah, I think the thing that you said there that's most troubling for me, that's frustrating, is not only did they not get a number one starter, they weren't in on any of them.
Not even mentioned.
Yeah, like Carlos Rodon, as you appropriately said, was at a really fair price point.
Yeah.
And that's a guy where if you go get him, you're talking now 85, 86 wins, right? Like, just think about think about how that would move the line with the pitchers. All of a sudden, it's Rodon's your one, Stroman, Tyone, Steele, and then let Hendricks and Smyly duke it out for 5. That's a playoff rotation right there.
Yeah.
And you weren't even in the conversation with
Very
those
strange.
guys. And then the whole situation of being labeling Abreu a priority and striking out on him, labeling Vasquez and striking out on him. They got the bare bones. They got Swanson, they got Bellinger, they got Taillon. It would have been nice if Taillon was somebody a little bit more established in the big leagues as a number 1 or a 1A. And then if they added that extra bat via free agency, now we would be talking about kind of what I was hoping that at this point in free agency, we'd be about 85, 86 wins. But they still got what they needed to get done to have significant improvement, because Dansby Swanson and Cody Bellinger are going to help them a ton. Either from a position of strength that the team was already good in 22, or position of weakness. Hey, this team struggled in 22. Do you have a team that you think has improved the most in baseball? No, but what I mean, not off the top of my head, that isn't obvious, but in relation to our team, the most important team to watch is who from Wisconsin, because they went out, they traded for Jesse Winker, they got rid of Colton Wong, they got Contreras. There was a lot of rumors. There was a lot of rumors about them parting ways with Corbin Burnes and or Brandon Woodruff. They kept both of them. The first half of their season will be fascinating because if it goes south, it could get really ugly, but they also could win the division. Does that make sense? They have a very interesting team. They're very different than the Cubs because of the arms that they have and the acquisitions they made. They have a 95-win ceiling, but because of Yelich's struggles and his cheating and the rest of the rest of their team, they also have a pretty low floor. So I think that they're the team that I'm most interested to watch throughout the year from what I've seen them do in the offseason. And don't laugh when I say Yelich was cheating, because there's no way
I'm in on it.
Yeah, there's no way you go from being a back-to-back MVP Barry Bonds level guy to forgetting how to play the game. You sign stealing. Well, didn't Darvish call him out on Twitter, and Yelich didn't deny it? And Yelich hasn't been the same since. All right, thanks for the reminder. Cadence is always very entertaining. Okay, coming up next, speaking of, I don't know the exact segue I was going for there. But, hey, it's been a long day.
Cheating.
Coming up next, no. Coming up next is going to be some over-unders game with Cubs home runs. We're going to put the graphic with the current starting lineup on there, and then we're going to give you the home runs totals via Zips as well and have some fun. With that, we're going to do that right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. You're hanging out with some friends and putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. As the evening comes to an end and people start to head out, you think of calling for a ride. You can make it home okay. It's no big deal. What are the odds you'll get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone. Everyone knows about the risks of drunk driving. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, it still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel while under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on our roads in order to save lives. If you're thinking you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's. Forever, drive sober or get pulled over. That's a message from the NHTSA. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Last week on the program, we went over the Zips projections according to Fangraphs, and I just want to show you what the current lineup on Clark and Addison is right now. I haven't edited that since they signed Swanson, basically. So there you go. So for these 9 players, I'm going to give you the players in order of home runs according to Zips. And I could do this in ascending or descending order, Sam. What would you like to do? Well, first of all, I want to give a quick shout out before we get into this because everyone's always gets on me. How about Nick's decor here? I don't know if you could see.
Yeah, what's it like?
Can you see all that?
Yeah, why didn't you? Oh, you couldn't flip the camera around because there's nothing to put your device on, right?
Yes.
Now, does he have like a lot of World Series stuff there?
Yeah, so we got a 2016 World Series Daily Herald thing. We got a Game 7 box score. We got a W flag picture.
Wow.
I mean, it's really the whole nine. But in order to have that in the background, I'm not going to just completely ruin their room here.
He's really a true fan.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a shout out on that. Why don't we go from highest to lowest?
All right, fantastic. Oh, don't do this. Come on.
No, I want you to laugh a little bit. I'm the one that has had the bad day. You've had a great week. You should be happy.
So
you got a new place,
Patty. I've been here well over a year.
Yeah, well, you know, I might be homeless.
All right, don't joke about that. Come on. So I'm hoping to visit you tomorrow.
Yeah, we and you absolutely can. Well, you and I will play rock paper scissors for 3 hours. It'll be a great time.
All right, so Zips projects Patty Wisdom at 26 home runs, Sam.
That's our highest?
Yeah.
26 flat?
Yeah, you're not going to like Bellinger's number. You might get up and go to Nick's kitchen.
All right, I'll take the under with Wisdom at 26. I don't think he's going to be an everyday player.
Because of plate appearances. Now, he hit around that number the last 2 years playing – 110, 130 games.
Our highest.
You almost wonder if he played more, what his capabilities are. But
are you trying to make my day worse?
I wasn't trying to.
You're telling me our highest home run total is 26?
Yeah, I'm going to show them to you here after these first couple. I'm just going to put them up on the screen, I think, because we might as well just reveal them and get it out of the way.
Well, all right, so,
unless I misread something, 26.
All right, let's go quickly and then we'll talk. So I got under for Wisdom. What do you got?
I'm going to say under as well.
Yeah.
Swanson, 23.
That's not a 23 and a half. That's a 23 flat.
Yeah, flat.
Yeah. Over.
I'm going to say over.
No, significantly over. He'll be flirting with 30.
Okay. Hap, 21.
What do you think on Hap? What you didn't tell me?
I'm going to say over.
Okay. I'm going to say over.
I think he goes on a nice power run here.
I'm going to say over too.
Mervis, 21.
Okay, that one I can't answer. I have no idea.
I got to go under there, folks.
You know what? Because somebody commented we need to argue more on the show. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, who commented? Max Kellerman?
Let's do a little Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless thing, but let's not, ruin our friendship over it like those two, huh?
Right. Seiya Suzuki, 21 as well.
Seiya Suzuki.
Oh, here we go.
No, you know how I feel about this.
Right.
And I know you and your dad aren't as high on him as I am.
Oh, stop it.
If Seiya Suzuki's hitting 25 home runs at least this year, granted he plays 130 plus games.
Right.
You have my word. But then again, the AT&T people also said they'd have their word. I shouldn't have said their name.
Chris Morel, 19.
That's got to be under. He's not an everyday ball player.
Yeah, I'm going to say. By the way, I'm going to say over for Suzuki.
Yeah.
I'm going to say under for Morel. Now, here's the one that's out of pocket.
Well, can I just say real quick, Matthew? I think it's kind of nice, though. Morel at 19, they're showing him a decent amount of respect.
100%.
That's a good sign. Maybe that's one of those you go over.
Right, 19's a nice number.
Yeah, because Vegas is telling you to. Telling you to go under.
How about Cody Bellinger, 18? That's just too paltry.
How many did he hit last year?
I'm going to say over.
What did he hit last year? Like 12?
Yeah.
I'll say over. I mean, listen, some of these guys got to go over. It's going to be slim pickings at Wrigley.
Right. Well, I'm going to explain that in a second. Let's see. Jan Gomes with 9 and Nico Horner with 7.
Nico Horner with 7?
Yeah, that's Zips. That's the computer. I think you slam 7.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time. 7
homers for Horner. I triple checked.
But he hit 10 last year, so they're saying he's going to have a power decrease?
Yeah, they're going to say that.
Wait a minute. No. Zips.
Yeah. Zips could. Well,
he
we
played
don't want to do
100.
that.
He didn't even play a full season, and he had 10. Nico Horner's over/under should be 13.5.
Okay. Well, again, this is in Vegas. It's Zips, but
and Zips is wrong.
Right.
If Nico Hoerner hits 7 or less home runs, congratulations on your solo show called Lockdown Cubs.
And if Yan Gomes hits 9, folks,
well,
I'll go into, I'll consider different work.
Well, no, Yan Gomes probably won't get to 9.
I know, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean he's not exactly, Johnny Bench.
Folks, Bellinger really has to hit more than 18.
No, but Matt, the worst thing on the entire list there is Hoerner. Hoerner at 7? What is he, Madrigal?
So
by the way, what's Madrigal? 0.5?
Yeah, Zips projects Madrigal at literally a single home run.
That might be high.
Oh no.
I'm kidding, guys. Don't everyone gets on me that I'm too hard on Madrigal. Move on.
So I did some home run addition there. That's 100. This is just the starters right now.
Yeah.
But that adds up to 165. The Cubs hit 159 in 2022, which ranked 17th in all of baseball.
Oh, so they'll hit more than that.
So yeah, you got to figure with some other guys that contribute.
Suzuki's hitting 34.
And that's not an official prediction, is it?
Not yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
We'll do
Walter
official
Payton?
predictions closer.
34, Walter Payton. All right, coming up next is going to be best and worst of the week. We'll see how that goes right after this. Welcome back into Locked On Cubs. This is the last segment of 2022. Don't know how else to put that. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you've listened or viewed this far in the episode, really appreciate that. And shout out to all the longtime listeners, first-time listeners. If you just have been with us since the winter meetings or this month, whatever it is, it was our most successful month since we've taken over the show. And really, really having a great time doing it. I know that's one of my best of the year. And Sam, what do you have? Because then I might tell some stories.
I want to do a little bit of a different thing on my end because I think you got a better little best and worst action than I have. I want to do a couple New Year's resolutions.
Oh, nice.
Regarding this show. So I really think that, people have in fun, jibbed us about our background. That's going to be fixed on my end in 2023. Hopefully, if all goes well, starting Monday, I'm going to have a decor like you just walked into Gallagher Way. Okay. And that's important to people. And and if it's important to our listeners, it's important to us. And I think we've done an awesome job so far, and it's because of our listeners. And, we just started this. Like our first show that we had was very informal. So and it wasn't on YouTube. So we're learning as we go. We're getting better each day. And I think we're going to, my New Year's resolution, I think you and I have incredible chemistry on here. Probably the best chemistry of anybody that has a podcast in the entire country. So my resolution is to really shape up the little stuff, the quality stuff that we're both new to, especially me more so than you, and to continue to bring a great product every day. And, for me, I'll just go quick. Best of the year for me is an easy one. It happened about 10 days ago when Lionel Messi raised the World Cup. The second best thing would be the growth of this show. And I'll say this, my worst of the year has probably been the last 3 days, as far as just, paying a lot of money to live in a nice place and not being able to live there. Over to you, Matt.
Okay.
I covered a lot of ground there.
Yeah. Nice transition. You're getting better at those as well.
Yeah. Thanks.
So Sam and I started a podcast in August of 2020, and for 2 years, nobody listened. Literally, we got double-digit downloads every week. And I've done this spiel many times in classes this semester as I guest speak in the school district I'm in. But because of how well we know the industry and, me keeping my ear to the ground and my eyes peeled, I knew we were doing a good show. I started to wonder what an opportunity could look like in order to, be with a network or hook on with somebody to keep doing really what we were doing, but just at a larger level. And, this past spring, the enrollment in my school district continued to decrease. And because I was just hired 2 years ago, the way the system is that I was released from teaching, and I have a different role at the school this year where I could kind of move around more. And I've actually been fortunate where I can, go in as a guest speaker, talk podcasting, whatever it is. And if I had a teaching job, not quite sure I would have pursued this opportunity, but I don't right now. And so we did. And it's one of the best things that's happened this year. And I feel like the whole second half of the year, really since July 5th, has just really changed many things. Just has made things more fun. I didn't know what an opportunity with this network could look like. Right when we started to think about reaching out to them, because I knew about Locked On Cubs. I knew the last host left in April. I would check the feed every now and then. There was never any new shows. So finally I asked Sam, I said, hey, should we reach out to them? Maybe we could take this over. And right around the same time, I was starting to find an email or something for Locked On. I walk into a Subway here in Crystal Lake, and there's a guy with a Locked On podcast hat. And this is right around the same time I'm trying to get in touch with the company. I go, how do you know Locked On? He goes, oh, my name is Jack Bushman. I'm the host of Locked On Blackhawks. And right away, we hit it off. I said, hey, do you know if the Cubs show is still open? And do you have actual emails of human beings that I could reach out to about this? He said, yes, it's still open. Here's 2 emails, including Jeff Carr, our channel manager here with Locked On, the host of Locked On Reds. And from there, we had a couple long phone calls and Zoom sessions. We did an audio demo. We did a video demo. And in late June, we were offered the show. And July 5th, we took over the show. And it's been fantastic. You can't buy chemistry like Sam is talking about. I think people are attracted to that. I think in some ways we are the little engine that could. And we've made an impression in the Cubs digital sphere already, which is very cool and honestly kind of surreal. So we're going to keep humming. We've had incredible growth the last month or so, and not sure what my teaching and coaching future looks like, or if I see a path to all 3 at one time. I'm not sure I see that, but I don't see how I cannot continue this show. And I think this is just the start of something.
Oh, you want me to comment?
Thanks for letting me share.
Yeah. I think there's a lot there for me. I think it would have been great. It would have been a great cap to my day if you said, and with that, we'll be replacing Sam.
What?
No. You know what I mean? No, I agree with you. I think it's good stuff, Matt. You will be doing the show. I'll tell you that much. It doesn't matter. We'll find a way, unless you wake up tomorrow morning and you're Coach K, you'll be able to do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just beginning for us, and it's been a great 6-month run. It's definitely been the highlight, I think, of both our years, at least professionally.
Right.
And I like I said, I think we haven't even sniffed where this is going to go, because the baseball team might improve and get more eyes towards it. And I want to do some live stuff. I want to meet people. Right. I want to do all these things that we've talked about that I think, will make this a special podcast. And, as we both say, it's nothing without the listeners. So thanks for giving us a chance. I know early on, a lot of people would comment and be like, well, this is a lot different than our last show. And some people loved it right away. Some people, it took some time to get to know us, more so me than you, just because of my style. And so thank you to those people for giving us a chance, and keep giving us a chance. And maybe we'll win 87 ball games.
Be sure to subscribe to Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button, folks. You have to smash the like button. If you want to support us and the crazy algorithm in this world of YouTube, please give us a like. We'd greatly appreciate it. Apple, Spotify, and all our audio peeps on that side. And our text line is 312-834-4634. If I was a listener to this show, I would text in, what is that exactly that was next to Sam for the second half of that show? Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Now make Locked On Sports Today your second listen. Host Peter Bukowski brings you the biggest stories from around the sports world in 20 minutes flat. Get the analysis and opinions before anyone else with our local and national experts and insiders. That's Locked On Sports Today, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We will see everybody in 2023. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy, and this is Locked On Cubs.